Good morning, everybody. This is Martin John, and I'm here to present you with Tao of the Day. Oh, yeah, I don't have the internet. That's okay. I got my version of the Tao, so that's all I'll need. Here I am once again helping you unpack a little bit of the Tao. What is the Tao, you may ask? The Tao Te Ching is an ancient text written about 600 BCE that means it was written around the same time a lot of scholars believe the Old Testament was written. And it is considered an ancient text. And being an ancient text, I look at as one of the first self help books. It doesn't give you all the information that we give you today in self help books in terms of like how to do things and why to do them and, what to do to hack your life so that you can, make things easier for yourself. It just gives you the information, and the information is truth. And this is a book that's been around for 3,000 years or so. And so it's information, the information that lies therein is still valid. And it's still being used today as a way to help understand what life is and why we are so powerful in this life. So I would love if anybody wanted to step up and pick a number between 1 and 81. I always like to pick a number myself when there is nobody waiting, and there's currently nobody in the queue. So um, this is really, the three lessons is popping out at me. Number 67, the three lessons. Caught in manifestation, some people say Tao is stupid. Others say it is a beautiful idea, but it cannot be achieved. They cannot see it is neither an idea nor something to be achieved. Lost in a world of endless solutions, they cannot recognize truth. Tao asks us to live with only three things: compassion, moderation, and humility. With compassion, you will be able to care for all things without having to ask if they deserve it. With moderation, you will be able to be generous without them needing to prove they are worthy of it. With humility, you know you are going to die like all things. Thus, you treat all things with dignity and respect. Abandoning these will only lead to trouble. So what does that mean? What does that mean to me? It's interesting as I came out here to my sister's place to watch her kids. One of her kids like pissed the bed last night, and here I am like reading this, and I have to be able to address this situation with compassion, moderation, and humility. Compassion, because I don't want them to think that there's anything to be ashamed of, and there's not, and I would never want that to happen. I would never want them to feel ashamed for having pissed the bed, no matter how old they are, and I'm not going to go into that at all, just because it doesn't matter. I mean, whether they're 2 or 12 or 65, it's all the same, and there's shame that could be attached to that. So if I can approach it with compassion, I will be able to care for all things, care for this experience for that child. Moderation. Now, what does it say about moderation? With moderation, you will be able to be generous without them needing to prove they're worthy of it. I can be generous. I can extend myself to them, and they don't have to be worthy of it in any way. They don't have to win my respect for them. They don't have to win me giving to them or spending time with them. I don't have to say, well, unless you're going to do something about this, I won't give you time. No, I'm going to be moderate. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be present, and they don't have to prove that they're worthy of it. If I want to chat with them about it, and I say, hey, look, I'm here to talk, and they get defensive and they get um, and they want to run away and hide and not talk to me because they have shame, that's okay. I want to be able to allow that. I want to allow them to feel shame. I don't want to go out of my way to make them feel shameful. I don't want to do anything that makes them feel shameful. But if they feel shame, that's theirs to feel. And I want them to be able to feel that. Now, if they play the victim, that's on them as well. They don't have to They don't have to do it that way, right? They don't have to play the victim, but they can. And they don't have to be shamed, but they can. And that's fine. And that is how I will be able to be moderate. I will allow them to feel what they feel without without them having to prove that they're not blaming me or anything like that. I can allow that to happen. Now, humility. So then we come down to humility. So we started with compassion, moderation, and humility, the three things that Tao asks us to live with. With humility, you know you are going to die like all things. Thus, you treat all things with dignity and respect. No matter what happened, this child pissed the bed. Okay, that's fine, but they still deserve dignity. They still deserve respect. And if I can step to this in terms of, from a space of humility, then I can allow them to feel what they feel, have compassion for what they're experiencing without having to sympathize. I can empathize, but I don't have to have sympathy for the situation. Their sympathy is not helpful. I don't have to have the feelings they're feeling. I can just understand them. And I can sit back and I can allow this. Now, what it says at the end is abandoning these will only lead to trouble. Imagine if I were to abandon any one of those while dealing with this child and them having, peed the bed. If I don't allow them to feel shame and I say, no, 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 don't feel shame, don't feel shame. And then I'm running after them, telling them what to do. And maybe they just need to have the experience of feeling that shame at that moment. They're not wrong for feeling that. They may even feel it more. And they may feel that because they feel shame, they need to make me happy. Well, that's not the case. They need to figure their shit out for themselves. Without compassion, I won't be able to care for the situation. If I didn't have compassion and it was like, oh, this is bad and this is this, and I put all this meaning on top of what happened and and I didn't have compassion in that moment, well, that wouldn't be kind to them. And they would shut down even further than feeling shame. But feeling shame that was instilled upon them rather than feeling shame that they're going to naturally feel because it was instilled upon them before. Maybe they hold shame, and that is perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with holding shame as long as you are able to work through it. Will they be able to work through it? Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday they will. And I want to give them the freedom to do that and not tell them it's wrong to feel shame. No, it's not wrong to feel shame. It's wrong when you're an adult and you feel shame and you don't recognize it and you push it down and push it down and all you do is feel more shame and you keep propagating your own shame. That's not even wrong, it's just unfortunate. With humility, you know you are going to die like all things, and as long as I can be humble in the face of this experience that this child is having, then I will hold on to the three lessons of Tao, right? If I get caught in the manifestation, meaning I get caught in the, oh, you're not supposed to piss the bed. If I get caught in that idea of like, well, the child peed the bed, now what's Tao going to do for me there? Like, how is he going to not pee the bed? Well, you're stuck in the manifestation of thinking that peeing the bed is a bad thing. It's just what happened. So caught in manifestation, some people say Tao is stupid. And that's what someone would say if they're dealing with a child that peed the bed and wants the child to stop peeing the bed. I mean, I don't want the child to continue peeing the bed, but they shouldn't be peeing the bed. Like they won't naturally pee the bed. They're going to wake up and go to the bathroom, but there needs to be space for the child to allow himself to be present. And so, yeah, lost in a world of endless solutions, they cannot recognize truth, the truth being that it's okay. Lois, how are you, love?
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm over here at my sister's in Virginia, and I arrived to a child who pissed the bed, and that's okay. We're just going through these three lessons of Tao and thinking about my situation.
What's your wait? Oh, your situation with the baby pee in the bed.
Yeah, well, it's not a situation. It's just like, well, this happened, and I'm not a parent, and I don't have any sort of authority or anything. So I'm just doing the laundry, and we'll see if there's a conversation with the child later. Because I got here after they went to school.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
So
Well, hey, pee pee in the bed happens.
that's
Okay.
right. No, it's
All
no big
right.
deal. Right.
And
And I'm looking.
sometimes, wait, I'm gonna say this,
Yeah.
just in case people are listening. Talking about, well, my kid pees in bed and da 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 da. I have children, and I have children that I've taken care of. And one of the children that I helped raise had a issue with peeing in the bed, and their father was doing all the shaming and
Yeah.
spanking and all that. I couldn't stand that shit. Oh my god, that just drove me up a wall. That
Yeah.
all that beating that child's butt and stuff, only to find out she had a medical fucking problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it was on his face, and then he had all this regret. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, that he went out and got hired to actually deal with. But
Mm.
the whole, because he had been shamed when he peed the bed when he was
Yeah.
a kid.
Of
So
course.
so it's kind of like one thing feeds another thing, and then when the wetting the bed part, some kids urinary muscles aren't as effective as other kids urinary muscles, and that signal that comes in your brain that says you got to pee, wake up, go to the bathroom, it does not set off for some kids until they like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's not set off because you beat the damn child's ass. It's set off
That's
because
right.
because they know, because they finally matured enough for that muscle to be strengthened. And
Yeah.
this kid in question had to do, literally as he do, Kegel muscles, something that pregnant women do after they have babies in order to get their muscles right back in all of those parts down there.
Yep.
Okay, a child had to do this because the child did not know, could not feel that urge,
Right. Yeah.
so anyway, enough about that, but I just thought it was strange because I knew that you don't do that, however, I'm thinking of a number. Let's go with 51 because I just saw 5 and a 1 in front of me.
All right. 51 is entitled The Cycle. Life is a gift received from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that gift. Everything emerges perfect, unconscious, and free, harmonizing with all things completely, maturing in its own time. All things exist and are nurtured through Tao. It fosters and provides for them completely. Tao does not possess or interfere, each expressing and maturing in their own nature. When their experience is complete, Tao receives them again.
Mm. To me, that basically said what you just said on that last one. You can't, don't judge nothing, basically.
Yeah.
Because when it's time, it's time. I was judging myself, okay, and I had to pay for that shit, but I was judging myself very harshly and well, I'm gonna say unprovoked because I was learning something new, and then I was trying to delineate between one thing and the other, and of course, my judge part of me sabotaged me, and I was judging myself harshly, and it wasn't even warranted. So on Sunday, I got judged harshly when it wasn't even warranted because I hadn't
Oh,
done nothing
yeah.
to be judged about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a matter of, but then when I let the time go, but I knew when I hoponopono the situation as it was occurring, I recognized that somebody was in pain and they needed compassion and to be lifted in love and light. So that's what I proceeded to do. But had I let my judge completely hijack my ass,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I would have said a whole bunch of stuff that the old lawyers would have not thought nothing about. I mean, I'm serious. The old lawyers wouldn't have thought nothing about some of the stuff that didn't even come in my head until after the fact when somebody else said, "Oh my God, if that happened to me, I would have." And I was like, "Oh shit, wow,
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that too."
Yeah.
So it's a matter of I hear we need to suspend judgment again. We need to suspend judgment.
Well,
Maybe because that's what I'm working on.
this verse is entitled The Cycle. So it's about
Yeah.
the cycle of like learning what is judgment now.
Yes.
And so as we start this piece, this verse, it's like life is a gift received from Tao. So you received your life
Mm-hmm.
from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that gift. I am being sustained as part of your gift
Mm-hmm.
from Tao, your life, right? I am
Right.
being sustained, and the other people in your life are being sustained. Their lives are being sustained as part of your gift. Now, your life is being sustained as part of my gift.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to interact because there are things that we each individually have to learn.
Yes.
And we learn those by seeing my life
Mm-hmm.
through the sustaining of your life,
Mm-hmm.
because that is how Tao works. Tao, each and every one of us have our own minds and our own universe and our own way of going about doing things and whatnot. And yet everything around us is being sustained because we were given this life. Now, we are someone else's characters as well. We're someone else's like background character. And we are being sustained by Tao for their life. Now, our life, they are our background character, and we're the star. And our life, or their life, is being sustained for the gift of life that we received.
Okay.
Everything emerges perfect, unconscious is free. Everything. Harmonizing with all things, completely maturing in its own time. So what I see that saying is like you and I are maturing in our own time
Mm-hmm.
through experiences we're having by the things Tao is sustaining for the gift of life we have been given.
Okay. So I see when I'm hearing this, I'm hearing again. It's about the oneness and that we're all
Uh-huh. Yep.
a movement in one part of the vehicle affects the other part of the vehicle, and the vehicle
Right.
be us human beings, and no matter what, even if I say, hey, I'm by myself, I ain't bothering nobody with my doing whatever, I can come up with anything, doing
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but in essence it's always affecting something else. Either it's in the environment or it's in someone else that inhabits this environment that I'm in. Tokyo, please stop. You want to go to the kennel? I don't do whining,
Yeah.
and I just don't. It's like kennel time now. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So, and we
Kennel
realize
time.
when we realize that we our lives touches everybody else's life, then this is my belief that for me, I felt that it was important that if my life is going to affect everybody else's, I better get that shit together.
That's right. That's
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna be real, because just because I'm messing up, I don't want everybody to be messed up because I'm messed up. At
Mm-hmm.
least that's how I felt when I was really messed up. When everybody was questioning everything I was doing because I was trying anything to try to get this shit right. Okay,
Right.
and I
Mhm.
kept trying, and finally I got it to where, hey, it's functional, it's thriving now. And
Yeah.
now it's just about taking all those lessons that I learned and allowing other people to benefit from them by not being ashamed
Mm-hmm.
to say the stupid stuff that I did, or say the stupid things that I said, or felt the way I felt. And I won't call it stupid because I felt that way
No,
because
that's right.
I didn't know anything else. That was all I knew. I mean, I can't be responsible. I can't hold myself responsible for shit I don't know. All I can do is try and learn more about what I don't know. Okay.
See, and that's where this goes because it says, like, all things exist and are nurtured through Tao. It fosters and provides for them completely. You were provided for, and you were provided the experience that you had to get to where you're going. It wasn't that it was providing you with everything so you didn't have anything to learn and grow to, because you are all of that stuff that you experienced was being supported and was being nourished so that you could experience the depth of the experience of your life.
Yes. Ye-
And that's what's so beautiful. And that's what Tao does, right? Like you're
It's
born
about
and you're
letting go. It's about
right.
letting go.
Letting go.
Be
Stop
wait.
trying to
It's kind
control
of
the
like
shit.
that. Cut. There it is. There it is. Because I found that any control I thought I had, it was just an illusion. Whether it be with the kids, whether it be at the job, whether it was in a relationship. I realized when the shit hit the fan that Lois ain't control not a damn thing. That was
Right.
all an illusion.
And that's what's great about this. As this continues, it says Tao does not possess. You were not possessed by Tao. You were not, Tao didn't own you
Mm-hmm.
or interfere. Tao does not possess or interfere. So when you want to go ahead and fuck your shit up, it says, all right, I got you. I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
You want to fuck your shit up? Come on, let's go fuck your shit up. Each each individual expressing and maturing in their own nature. In their own nature, you had the nature to experience what you experienced to get to where you're getting in your own time.
Right.
And it allowed you to do that.
Right.
And then you did it in the most natural way possible. And here you are, thriving and excited and ready for the next challenge.
Yeah,
And
but I gotta say this, but in the beginning it was stumbling and bumbling. Okay.
fuck yeah,
It
because you
was
don't know your
stumbling and
nature
bumbling.
because you were under the influence of everybody else.
Thank you. I was under the they esteem.
Yeah,
It was first it was the family esteem, then it was the they esteem, then it was the
mm-hmm.
self esteem. Okay.
Yeah.
But but that's how we learn anyway. That's how we learn, and we can't beat ourselves up again for
And you
stuff that
have to
we don't.
find your own nature. And here in the world of, the Western world that we live in, we're expected to have the same nature as everybody else.
Right.
Human nature, we call it. Oh, it's human nature to do this. And I always say, no, it ain't.
No,
That's
it's
your
not.
nature.
No, exactly. The whole thing is we want to know what human nature is. Look at it.
No,
Look at an infant. Look at an infant.
that's right.
An infant expresses itself when it's unhappy. It expresses itself when it's happy. It don't hold no. It don't. They may not have the words, but everybody
That's right.
knows. Okay.
Everybody knows.
And the thing is that it walks around with joy. It'll have a conflict or something where somebody will take a toy. It'll cry for a minute, and then it let it go, and then it's back to playing with that kid that took the toy. And it's like if we become again, the Bible tells us come like children if we start having that curiosity, that forgiveness, that instant forgiveness, that expressing yourself and having those hard conversations and speaking up for yourself. It's like a kid does that. May not
Mm-hmm.
have the words, especially a baby. A baby don't have the words at all, but it does it all. So if we take
Yeah.
an example for that, then we be doing good. Tokyo, please stop. We will, Kennel, now. Kennel, let's go.
And then this one
Sorry.
just wraps up with when their experience is complete, Tao receives them again. And that's one of the great things about like that old like thing where it's like, I know God makes sure everything's okay. So as long as things aren't okay, it's not over yet.
Okay. And then the other thing is once an adult, twice a child. Okay.
Mm.
Because by the time by the time I got to this age, I figured it out. And now I'm back to that same curiosity, that same I want to learn, that same the thing that makes you do take chances and risk take and because I just feel the freedom. But it's just a shame that we don't acknowledge you doing the middle because we're too busy dismantling all the bullshit.
Yeah, it takes a
But
long
I'm gonna go because this dog keep whining.
Yeah, you go
I
ahead and take
have
care of
to, I
that.
have
Yeah.
to make sure. I'm gonna have to put her in the room by herself because she'll understand we don't do this.
Yeah.
And she's only doing this because Sharente's back at her house, and her dog that was
Oh,
vexing this dog, she act like she couldn't stand the dog while he's here. But
of
when he's
course.
gone, she starts whining and doing all this crap. And I'm like, no, we don't play that one.
We don't play that.
I got cheese, but you don't get no cheese with that wine or
All
for that wine. All right. All right. I
right,
love
love.
you and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye
Yeah,
bye.
we'll be in touch. So I wanna read through that one again. If anybody wants to come up and pick a number between 1 and 81, please do. Life is a gift received from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that gift. That's the thing. Everything that is around you is being sustained as part of the gift you received through Tao. Life, your life. All life is this way. So your mom was given the gift of life and sustained everything. You are being sustained as part of their gift, and they are being sustained as part of yours. And that's one of the wonderful things about Tao. It's like how intricate it is. I remember there was a time in my life when I had to come to the realization that I was special, just like everybody else. I thought everybody else was special, and I wasn't. And then I had to come to the realization that no, 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 that's actually I'm special, just like everybody else. And that was something that this is how Tao sees it, right? You're special, but not any more or less than anybody else, just like everybody else. And your life is being sustained. Well, your life is a gift, and everything that you experience is being sustained by Tao as part of the gift that you received. Everything emerges perfect, unconscious, and free, harmonizing with all things, completely maturing in its own time. So, the gift of life, right? That's everything that has life emerges perfect, unconscious, and free, and harmonizes with all things. Why does it harmonize with all things? Because all things are sustained as part of the gift of life. And that's what it's saying here, right? Like all things is something we've heard before, right? It sustains all things as part of that gift. Everything, everything emerges perfect, conscious, and free. All things, everything emerges perfect, conscious, and free, and harmonizes with all things. That's the crux, right? Everything is equal. Everything is the same. Everything is all things. They emerge perfect, unconscious, and free, and then they harmonize with all things. They harmonize with all things because those are the things that are being sustained as part of the gift of life that we receive. Completely maturing in its own time. Every individual thing will mature in its own time due to the experience it's having with the things that are supported for the gift of life that it's received. All things, once again, exist and are nurtured through Tao. Right? This all things is a theme that keeps coming up. Life is a gift received from Tao. It sustains all things as part of that life. Everything, another way of saying all things, everything emerges perfect, unconscious, and free, harmonizing with what? All things, completely maturing in its own time. In its own time. Every individual thing will mature in its own time. Once again, all things exist and are nurtured through Tao. It, Tao, fosters and provides for them completely, provides for everything. And he provides for everything. How? By supporting all things for the gift of life that has been given. Tao does not possess or interfere, each expressing and maturing in their own time. Everything will mature and express itself in its own time. When all things, when every individual thing, when an individual thing, when their experience is complete, Tao receives them again. And that's through death, but that's not just through like physical death. Tao will receive your identities, Tao will receive your errors, Tao will receive everything that you give it. It doesn't care. It will receive what you give it. If anybody wants to step up and pick a number between 1 and 81, I'd love to have you up. Otherwise, I'm going to start to sign off. If you benefit from the work that I do here on Tao of the Day, I'd appreciate a little tip through Venmo at martinjohn_Garcia, or you can go to my profile and send a tip through Linktree. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Martin John, the Recovery Mentor, and this has been another edition of Tao of the Day. Until next time, keep recovering yourself.